Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Julian Harris. I am Senior Business Development Manager for Qualcomm. First question for you guys before I start off. How many people know Qualcomm and who we are? That's not bad. That's not bad. So I'm looking forward to telling those in the audience who we are, for those who don't know, and I'm very much looking forward to those who know about Qualcomm to telling them about a whole bunch of new stuff that we're now doing, and why we're very pleased to be standing up in front of you guys today. The first thing that I should point out, which of course has not gone unnoticed, is the snow. Everybody in England takes a lot of criticism for not being prepared for the snow and not being able to manage very well. To be fair, we don't have quite as much as you guys have, and I'm pleased to see that you're pretty disorganized too. The other thing is that every time I do international travel, my son expects me to bring something back that is cultural and typical for the environment and the city that I'm visiting. This morning I was very excited to tell him that there is still a lot of snow. He would now like me to bring a snowball home. If anybody has any idea how I might be able to transport a snowball home on my British Airways flight this evening, please come and tell me on the exhibition stand which we're running next door. But what I'm really here to tell you about today is differentiating your applications using software. There should be no doubt in anybody's mind that the demand for applications across the world is growing significantly. And the latest statistics that we have available, and I'm sure you guys would also be able to access this kind of information, are of a significant growth in the number of applications and the revenue that is being generated by those applications across all sorts of genres. So the purchase, the usage, and the propagation of those applications is increasing quite considerably. We're also seeing a vast number of new wireless devices launching around the world, all sorts of different form factors, shapes, and sizes, and we're very pleased to say including a lot of Qualcomm's processing capability in order to run those applications and services. So consumers, whether they be enterprise or entertainment style applications and services, are being very demanding and are expecting a whole lot of new applications and services to be available to them. So what role do Qualcomm play in ensuring that these applications and services are available? Qualcomm see ourselves as the architects of the connected world. We are a wireless chipset designer and a wireless licensee organization. So we license our technologies around the world. And I'll look at some of those figures in a second. And essentially the focus of the organization is from the chipset up, all the way from the processing capability of the handsets, the application programming interfaces, so the features and the functions that are available, all the way through to the applications and services, whereby we publish a number of enabling software development kits that allow application developers to produce very innovative, inventive, and creative applications. The idea being that these applications will allow you to differentiate your services, handset manufacturers to differentiate their devices, network operators and retail outlets to differentiate their consumer propositions, so the way that they advertise handsets. And Snapdragon is the brand name for our range of processors that we license into a number of handset manufacturers. We've been around for 25 years and we were founded on the west coast of the US in San Diego. We license our technologies to over 70 handset manufacturers who include people such as Nokia, Samsung, LG, HTC, Huawei, in fact pretty much every tier 1 handset manufacturer that you can name, and a number of tier 2 and tier 3 handset manufacturers as well, so those who white label and distribute their devices under alternative brand and consumer names. There are over 770 devices which have been announced commercially available, so available on the shelves and selling around the world. 450 new models are currently in production, and 35 of those are wireless tablets. So we have a very strong working relationship with our direct licensees, so the handset manufacturers, who I suspect many of you guys are very interested in looking at preload opportunities of your applications and services on their devices. We also work very closely with our indirect customers, such as network operators who range our licensees' devices and sell them to the consumers, and retail outlets who also sell those devices. And our focus now is very much on providing enabling technologies to differentiate applications and services across a whole genre of functional capabilities. Traditionally, we focus on mobile devices, so classic feature and smartphones, and there are a number of high-end devices as well as entry-level 3G devices. We're seeing an increasing number of computing devices become available on wireless, which require high processing capabilities, consumer electronics such as connected TVs and other devices, and also networking solutions. And Qualcomm have divisions and teams who look after all of these categories and all of these functional capabilities. So when we talk about Snapdragon, we also talk about the system on chip. We talk about the software services that are the layers that are available and the services that application developers can design on top of that functional capability. So we provide our chipsets to enable leading hardware providers to take advantage of high-capacity CPU and GPU, 3G and 4G RF connectivity, so connection to the networks, great DSPs, great audio and visual capability, Wi-Fi connectivity, superb power management, which is absolutely essential for devices that are being used and to deliver increasingly sophisticated services. And all of these are capable as a result of the Snapdragon chipset. We support multiple operating systems, and a number of our software development kits support multiple operating systems. We support Android, BlackBerry, you can see the list up in front of you, Windows RT and Windows Phone, which means that a number of the devices that you see now commercially available have Snapdragon chipsets inside them. And this is the layer where we get to the advanced software technology, where we're talking about the enabling technologies that allow application developers and service providers to differentiate through features and functions and technologies that Qualcomm are now developing and publishing from our developer website. And these include such advanced software technologies that will allow organizations to produce applications in the entertainment industry. You have advanced APIs available in the camera, improved and increased connectivity, great web technologies, fast computer vision, augmented reality, and peer-to-peer connectivity. And on top of that, Qualcomm provide ecosystem support. So we work very closely on a one-to-one basis with a number of application developers who've produced showcase applications and best-in-class applications based on our technologies. And we promote those applications and services to our handset manufacturer customers, which increases the opportunity for application developers to have preloads of their applications on specific devices, in specific countries, in specific regions, or specific network operators or retail outlets. And it's very much the focus and the objective of the ecosystem team to achieve these kinds of deals and opportunities. In order to facilitate the production of the applications, we have developer tools available on the website, and I'll show you what that looks like in a URL to access that. We have a lot of support and developer forums available to help you guys achieve your objectives in regards to the delivery of those applications. What we have very much realized is that experiences are now selling devices. Software experiences, solutions, and functional capability are that which are differentiating devices on the shelves as form factors become increasingly similar. So we produce, as I mentioned, a whole set of software development tools which allow application developers to increase functions, features, and capabilities of their applications to show true differentiation. And I will point out that we are, and I'll say it a couple more times as well, we are exhibiting in the room next door, and I can show you a whole bunch of applications that have been developed using these functional capabilities. One of those is called Vuforia. Vuforia is Qualcomm's vision-based augmented reality solution, which basically means that you can produce an application which will recognize an image and perform some kind of function based on the image that it recognizes. And this is being used in gaming and play, advertising and media, and educational and instructional in most instances. We have 45,000 registrations for the Vuforia software development kit around the world, and 3,000 applications have been produced using Vuforia and published in either the Google Marketplace or the iPhone App Store. So Vuforia is available to application developers on both Android and iOS. And we have a whole bunch of applications which are available for you guys to download as well, but which we're demonstrating next door with a bunch of print media and so on and so forth. So I'll very quickly show you a show reel, if I can get some audio for the show reel as well. So just a show reel, an example of some of the applications that have been produced using Vuforia. A reminder that there are 3,000 of those applications currently available for download across a number of application stores, functional across both operating systems and, of course, a whole number of handsets. If there is any doubt in anybody's mind as to how effective augmented reality can be in regards to engaging with consumers, I heard a number of laughs in the audience when you saw the X-ray specs application that was shown with MooseJaw. MooseJaw are a Canadian company who produce a mail order catalogue for the young active generation of outdoor clothing. And when they launched their catalogue, a new version of their catalogue last year, they launched an augmented reality application using Vuforia alongside that. And as a result, they saw a 36% increase in sales of clothing through the mail order catalogue. So there should be no doubt in anybody's mind that augmented reality is a very engaging and emotional experience for consumers. An instance where we show that differentiating applications and services really does prove effective with consumers. Vuforia is an ideal way of showing the fusion between the physical and the digital world, which Qualcomm talk about as being the sixth sense. And hopefully you can start to see a picture and the logic behind how we start to compile these enabling technologies and prove functional capability of the handsets. You'll remember the brand name Snapdragon for our processor. We also have a Snapdragon SDK, software development kit, which allows application developers to write exclusively to APIs, functions and features which are available on our licensees, on our Snapdragon chipsets, and so available on licensees' devices. These include things such as advanced image processing, Adreno Profiler, which allows you to, for example, improve the performance of 3D gaming. And we have a number of case studies where gaming companies, high-end AAA games companies, have achieved anything between 20 to a 25% increase in frames per second as a result of using the Adreno Profiler. and can do things such as add drop shadow to the gaming experience, which anybody amongst you who is familiar with the gaming experience is significant and makes a significant and positive impact on the user's experience. Geofencing, facial processing capabilities, smile detection, gaze detection, sensor gestures, whereby you can now interact with the interface on a handset without having to touch the screen. So you can wave your hand over the top and that can move screens backwards and forwards. You can imagine a number of environments where that could potentially be used. So a whole bunch of APIs which are available as part of the Snapdragon SDK. Those features, as I say, include things such as camera, whereby you can have blink, smile, and gaze detection. Audio, whereby you can take advantage of enabling stereo 5.1 audio input and lower latency voice chat capabilities. Sensors, low power sensors that take advantage of the battery efficiency that's available within the Snapdragon chipset, and also location-aware capabilities. And what we urge application developers to do is to look at the features and functions that are available and start to conceive and come up with new ideas for applications and services, or alternatively find ways by which these functions and features could be potentially integrated into existing applications and services to increase that functionality and increase the differentiation. Qualcomm see our position in the ecosystem in this instance as an enabling technologist. We provide the software development kits, we provide the forums and the technical support, and we invite application developers to come up with the innovative ideas and services around those applications. And as you'll see a little bit later on, there is also a formal infrastructure in place where we can act as a business development team on your behalf as well. So these are some of the features that are available in the Snapdragon SDK. One of the other SDKs that we have available is called AllJoin. And AllJoin provides seamless peer-to-peer connectivity across from application to application. Qualcomm recognized that there is a lot of frustration in the industry that applications cannot easily talk to each other, and that in many instances, application developers take a lot of time worrying about accessing the Bluetooth connectivity or accessing Wi-Fi connectivity, and less time, because of time pressures and costs incurred, on the user interaction models and how the user would be able to integrate and access these kinds of services. So with AllJoin, we undertook a heavy engineering task where we provide an abstraction layer between the user interface of the application and the connectivity to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which means that as an application developer, you don't have to worry about that low-level core code integration. You can simply go ahead and produce your application on top, understanding how consumers set up sessions, so on and so forth. And we see this being commercially deployed, and there are a number of applications that are commercially available on both in the Android marketplace, and we now have iOS available in the software development kit as well. In areas such as entertainment and experiences, multi-screen experiences, and social experiences as well. So we're seeing a number of applications where consumers can now connect, where application developers have taken advantage of features and functions that they may not have found as easily accessible in the past as they now do using AllJoin. So I shall very quickly show you another show reel with some audio, please, guys. Chaps at the back. Hello, can I have some audio, please? Thank you. So again, a quick example and a show reel produced of applications that have been designed and developed using AllJoin. Of course, it's one thing seeing these applications and services running in showreels and on exhibition stands. It's another thing hearing an employee from Qualcomm stand up in front of you and tell you how wonderful and fantastic the technology is. But of course, I think it's rather more credible if we have application developers who have used the technology to stand up and talk to you guys as well. So it gives me great pleasure to be able to introduce you to a company and a chap you will be familiar with, the guys from Abby and Konstantin.
Thank you, Julian. Добрый день, уважаемые слушатели. Говорить по-русски, наверное, так будет проще. Раз. Итак, я аналитик в компании Abby, отвечаю за несколько продуктов, в том числе и за наш сканер визиток Business Card Reader, в который мы встроили как раз вот фреймворк AllJoin. Скажу пару слов о компании. Конечно, особого представления она в России, по крайней мере, не требует, это точно. Но добавлю то, что мы известны не только в России, а и по всему миру. Мы уже больше 20 лет занимаемся разработкой программного обеспечения, накопили очень большой опыт в распознавании текста и в лингвистических разных делах. И, соответственно, но как Lingua и FineReader знают практически все, это я уверен. Нашими корпоративными продуктами тоже наверняка сталкивались многие из вас, такими как система потока ввода, система распознавания гибких форм FlexiCaptcha и так далее. Многие наверняка пользуются даже мобильными приложениями, хотя это у нас началось не очень давно, это движение. Но вот немножко скажу про и корпоративные, и мобильные приложения одновременно. Для бизнеса мы предлагаем два типа решений. Первый — это технологические продукты. Это те продукты, которые предназначены в первую очередь для разработчиков, чтобы они могли пользоваться нашими наработками. Это в первую очередь Mobile OCR SDK, это движок распознавания текста, Optical Character Recognition Engine. Он позволяет дополнить ваше приложение функциями распознавания. Распознает он более 60 языков, работает довольно быстро, распознает в том числе иероглифические языки, кириллицу, греческий. Соответственно, к сожалению, пока что до арабского дела не дошло, но тоже скоро ждем. Затем, что еще в нем можно? В нем встроенный модуль распознавания визиток готовый, распознавание баркодов, ну и много чего еще. В принципе, триалы доступны, всех приглашаю. Второй сравнительно новый продукт — это Mobile Imaging SDK. Позволяет дополнить приложение функциями обработки изображения. Ориентирован в первую очередь на обработку документов. То есть абстрактные фотографии произвольные тоже можно настраивать, но в первую очередь все-таки про документы. Это возможность обнаружить на фотографии края документа, обрезать по краям, исправив перспективу, подкрутить яркость, контрастность, выбелить фон и так далее. Чуть более интересно, возможно, будет рассказ о приложениях таких, предназначенных для конечного пользователя, для конечного бизнес-пользователя, то есть для сотрудника какой-то компании. Здесь мы можем говорить о разных вариантах интеграции. Либо мы делаем какую-то библиотечку, которая целиком встраивается например, если у компании уже есть свое приложение, можем подготовить некоторую библиотечку, которая будет встроена в продукт и добавит какую-то функциональность. Можем говорить о какой-то кастомизации наших готовых продуктов, ну и варианты посередине тоже возможны. Здесь мы готовы, в принципе, рассматривать такие интересные кейсы, как банковые, платежные системы, банковые кейсы, работа с платежными системами, например, фотографирование платежного документа, распознавание его, формулирование команды на оплату и передачу, собственно, в банк для проведения оплаты как таковой. Для логистики у нас есть такой, например, сценарий, когда экспедитор может, находясь непосредственно на удаленном пункте, сразу отфотографировать полученный документ о том, подтверждающий, что груз доставлен, и опять-таки сразу сбросить его в центральное хранилище, чтобы не тратить время на несколько дней, пока он его отвезет физически. Также можно рассматривать случаи ввода данных в электронные архивы. И последнее по порядку, но не по значению, как раз то, где мы применили AllJoin, это обработка деловых контактов. Деловой контакт, как известно, начинается с визитной карточки. Расскажу. Для обработки визитных карточек у нас есть такое замечательное приложение, как Abby Business Card Reader. Возможно, многим из вас знакомое. Это самый наш ветеран, самое наше такое заслуженное приложение. Мы начинали его разрабатывать первые версии были еще под Symbian. Оно было нашим первенцем под iOS, оно было нашим первенцем под Android. Ну, в принципе, оно и понятно. Сценарий довольно очевиден. Объяснять, для чего оно нужно потенциальному покупателю, не надо. Все сразу понимают, все сразу готовы его приобретать. Этому приложению даже в версии вот iOS уже, наверное, около 4 лет. Больше 3 точно. И на протяжении всех этих лет оно планомерно развивалось. Вот уже сейчас 5 мажорных версий, на подходе 6-я. И на протяжении всей этой истории оно потихоньку становилось все более и более пригодным для использования именно как делового инструмента. Первая версия была совсем простая, она просто фотографировала карточку и сохраняла распознанные данные в контакты. Но это не всем удобно, в конце концов, захламлять всеми встречными визитками свою записную книжку не всем хочется. Поэтому мы начали его двигать. Первые, правда, начали с интеграции с социальными сетями. На первых порах она была реализована довольно примитивно, просто поиск, но все равно это какая-никакая дополнительная разведка. Когда человек дал вам визитку, вы можете посмотреть, что за человек в социальных сетях, обнаружить потенциальные пересечения, например, в каком-нибудь LinkedIn. И дополнительно также был поиск его местоположения на картах. Это мы, по-моему, сделали одними из первых вообще из сканеров визиток на рынке. Версия 4.0 последовала довольно быстро. Мы как раз-таки наконец избавили пользователей от необходимости захламлять свою записную книжку, сделали встроенное хранилище. Довольно мощное, с поиском, сортировкой, группировкой и так далее. То есть сейчас это вполне полноценная такая альтернатива записной книжке. Из нашего же приложения можно непосредственно звонить, отправлять смс-ки, писать письма и так далее. То есть личные контакты в адрес-буке, деловые, в кард-ридере вполне возможно. Чуть позже добавили даже бэкап. К сожалению, на первых порах не было, что могло быть не очень удобно. Наконец, дальше мы сделали самый большой шаг в продвижении в бизнес-среду, это добавили интеграцию с CRM-системами. В той версии, которая уже лежит сейчас в App Store, уже есть готовая интеграция с Salesforce. Она, правда, докупается как и на Purchase, но тем не менее. Можно свежеполученную визитку, например, сразу после посещения какой-то выставки, конференции, сразу всю пачку полученных визиток прогнать через бизнес-карт-ридер, и они к вашему возвращению в офис уже окажутся в вашей корпоративной CRM-системе, с ними можно будет работать, уже двигаться дальше. Salesforce, как я уже сказал, готов в том приложении, которое лежит в App Store. Интеграции с другими CRM-системами. Мы, в принципе, исследовали возможность интеграции с Zibel, исследовали интеграцию с Oracle, с SAP, прошу прощения. И это возможно, но тут надо уже смотреть на конкретную инфраструктуру, как у каждой компании это их CRM интегрировано. Там могут быть различные варианты. Но это все, конечно, к сожалению, полдела. Сейчас это уже действительно полноценный рабочий инструмент, и можно пользоваться довольно здорово. Наши коллеги активно им пользуются. Но, к сожалению, он охватывает только тот момент, когда вы уже обменялись с партнером визитками, когда его визитка у вас на руках, и вы уже отдали ему свою. Но это не самое главное. Самое сложное зачастую — это именно вручить визитку. Подойти и вручить. И здесь как раз мы давно хотели добавить, много брейнстормили на эту тему, хотели добавить именно функциональность именно вручения визитки или обмена как-то еще. Но, к сожалению, технических средств в базе ни на одной платформе нету. Чтобы отправить ее по имейлу, нужно знать имейл, то есть уже знать какой-то контакт. То же самое с СМС, с ММС, какими угодно способами. Ну, Bluetooth можно, конечно, но это не самая удобная вещь на свете. Вообще визитным карточкам уже столько лет пророчат скорую смерть, но на моей памяти где-то, наверное, с начала 2000-х, когда впервые пошел в массы Bluetooth, уже тогда говорили, сейчас скоро все будут по Bluetooth передавать. Потом, как вторая волна пошла на QR-кодах, скоро у всех будут QR-коды на визитках, бумажные распознавания не понадобится. Ну, поди что до сих пор живут. В конце концов, просто обменяться маленькими картонками оказывается пока проще. Но мы стараемся это исправить. Чтобы вообще удачно вручить карточку, самое главное — это максимально упростить интерфейс. Это чтобы не требовало, как в том случае с тем же Bluetooth, чтобы два человека достали свои телефоны, начали искать друг друга, одновременно ввели одинаковый там этот пин-код и так далее. Нужно все сделать намного проще. Поэтому идеальный интерфейс, вот мы, например, находимся сейчас на конференции. Кто-нибудь из вас хочет, например, мне передать визитку. Он запускает свой бизнес-карт-ридер, открывает группу «Мои визитки», выбирает ту из них, какая годится к случаю, ну там может быть английская, русская, например, ставит галочку, нажимает «Отправить». Получает список доступных приемников. Вот, например, на втором кадре как раз я вот присутствую. Нажимает один раз на него, и все. Дальше мне остается только подтвердить получение. Вот для реализации такого сценария как раз AllJoin подошел как нельзя лучше. Основное его преимущество именно в этом. То есть минимальное какое-то задействие технических деталей не надо. То есть соединение происходит по Wi-Fi. Необходимые ограничения — это, конечно, 2 устройства должны находиться в одной Wi-Fi сети. Но не надо знать IP-адрес, не надо как-то мудрить. Все делает фреймворк. Нам остается только задать какое-то имя для себя. Слушаю вас. Понял, прошу прощения. Задать какое-то имя для себя и работать с партнером. Таким образом, казалось бы, просто техническая библиотека, такая как AllJoin, в сочетании с нашим уже существующим бизнес-карт-ридером добавила не просто как отдельную функцию, а, получается, добавил полный новый слой функциональности. Не только чтение, но и не только обработку уже готовых визиток, но и передачу новых. То есть сделала сценарий, добавил не просто пассивный сценарий, а добавил проактивный сценарий. Мы считаем, что это очень хорошее движение вперед. О конкретных эффектах пока говорить рано. Мы только-только выложили это приложение в Google Play. Версия для Android, для iOS будет сравнительно в ближайшее время. Но когда у людей на руках уже будет достаточно много сканеров визит, на руках установок нашего приложения будет достаточно много, уже начнет работать вовсю. Если кто-то хочет посмотреть, как это выглядит, подходите на наш стенд в соседней комнате прямо и направо в дальнем углу. Соответственно, если кто-то хочет отправить, если у кого-то уже, например, установлен наш бизнес-карт-ридер, и он хочет отправить мне визитку, попробуйте. Я выгляжу в списке доступных приемников как Константин Бочаров Аби. Мы специально для того, тут, к сожалению, с Wi-Fi немножко туго, поэтому мы подняли такую небольшую локальную сеточку, назвали ее AllJoin. Она тоже не очень стабильная, но, по крайней мере, можете попробовать. А так подходите на стенд, там посмотрите и то, о чем говорил Джулиан, и наше приложение. Спасибо за внимание. Если какие-то вопросы, то давайте после окончания выступления.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm just looking to see how long we've got left as well. Okay, so 15 minutes. That's either 15 minutes or Konstantin just scored 15 points for his presentation. You guys clearly have an advantage over me because I'm hoping that Konstantin was telling you all of his experiences in working with AllJoin, and that's what we agreed he was going to discuss at least. And I know the rest of the team are here as well, so they can tell me all about it. But it's very, very important for us to work very closely with organizations and with partners that are taking full advantage of the functional capability, and to give those companies that are making the effort and investing the time into looking at that functional capability as much publicity and exposure as we can. So I hope what we've proven there is not only Abby's capability in regards to integration of AllJoin into their application to improve the features and the function sets, to add to the feature and function sets, but also the level of support that Qualcomm are prepared to offer, not only from a technical basis, but from what I've mentioned earlier in regards to the ecosystem. So a quick reminder that Qualcomm license our chipsets to handset manufacturers around the world. Over 70 devices, so 70 different models that sell around the world are using our technologies. 450 have been announced, a whole bunch are commercially available, a whole bunch of others have been announced. You'll remember, I'm sure, from the figures a little earlier. So we are providing the core technology to handset manufacturers, the processing capability for them to be able to run high-end smartphones and feature phones on 3G and 4G connections. You'll also, I hope, remember the slide that had a list of the software development kits that are available, including Vuforia, FastCV, Snapdragon SDK, and of course AllJoin, which we've heard Konstantin talk about. And all of those are available as part of Qualcomm's ecosystem. They're available for download from QDevNet, our developer site, and as I mentioned, I'll show you a URL in a second as to where you can access that. And you're also, of course, most welcome to come and see us on the exhibition space that we have next door, to come and see Business Card Reader running, see how it connects using AllJoin, to come and see some other AllJoin applications that are running, to come and see a whole bunch of Vuforia applications, augmented reality apps that are also running. We also provide, as part of the ecosystem, access to hardware development tools. We distribute mobile, it is via the QDevNet, you're able to access mobile development platforms, so phone form factors that have the APIs available, so that you can write your applications and services in advance of the availability of commercial handsets, if that's what you choose to do. We have boards available if you guys are developing particular hardware, so Snapdragon boards available if you're producing hardware. So we go down to that level of granularity. And we have mobile development platforms and hardware tools in different shapes, sizes, and form factors. As you'll see there, tablets and a classic smartphone interface. The software tools are available for download. Those software tools are available for free. You can download the Vuforia SDK. There is no commercial requirement for a relationship between Qualcomm and you as an organization when you download the application. AllJoin is even an open source application. So if you guys choose, you can also contribute to the open source code on the alljoin.org website. There is a concept, by the way, in regards to Vuforia for a billing model based around cloud recognition, and I'd be delighted to talk to you about cloud recognition if you take the opportunity of visiting the exhibition stand. But the core functional capability for the software development kit is available for download. You can publish an application, you can charge a client for the production of that work if you like, you can sell an application based on the software development kit if that's what you choose to do, and it is not necessary to have a relationship with Qualcomm after the download of the software development kit. We, of course, urge you to remain in contact with Qualcomm so that we can bring you guys along to shows as well, so that we can bring your applications and services, assuming they are high quality and take full advantage of the functional capability, along to exhibitions. We take our applications, our developers who've produced applications to Mobile World Congress. We take them to exhibition stands at CES. We drive publicity behind those applications in both consumer and press media, and we give as much exposure and access as we possibly can. Because we believe that applications and services are differentiating our licensees' handsets, they're differentiating retail outlets and consumer branding campaigns, and that's why we're driving so hard in the ecosystem to give as much access as possible. And of course here, we're supporting multiple operating systems, and you can see a snapshot of the operating systems that we're running there. We urge application developers to produce applications in different categories and genres: entertainment, media content, audio content, maybe for the music industry, but also for the enterprise industry as well. As we start to see more devices becoming readily accessible to enterprise organizations, we're inviting application developers to think about the features and functions and capability that we're providing in the enabling technologies to see how you can enhance and improve applications to make them more accessible, to increase the functionality, and ultimately to drive consumers' adoption of smartphones, devices, and tablets. So here is a quick snapshot of QDevNet, as I mentioned, which you can access by developer.qualcomm.com. You'll find access to a bunch of information in regards to development opportunities. You'll find a bunch of information there in regards to how to go about distributing your applications and services, how to get in contact with the global ecosystem team to talk about your applications and services, what you're thinking about, what you might already have done, and the kind of opportunity and publicity that we might be able to drive together. Immediate opportunity to download those SDKs. I've mentioned a number of the SDKs are distributed for free from the websites. And finally, a number of discussion forums where you guys can share information about applications and services, or use those discussion forums as technical support for the production of those applications, productions of those applications and services. So we're providing early access to leading-edge APIs, cutting-edge APIs that are available. We have relationships with handset manufacturers who are seeking applications to preload on their devices to differentiate their services. And because we license core technology to these guys, we are talking to them well in advance of the commercial availability of their devices, in many instances at the design stage. So we have a very close relationship with these guys. We do everything that we possibly can to enable and facilitate the acceleration of the production and the lowering in the development time of next generation content and services. And we find ways and means by which, and provide enabling technologies by which you guys can create and optimize those applications. So all that remains for me to do is to thank you very much for your time in listening to what we have to say, and 3 reminders. The first is that we have an exhibition stand next door where we're running a whole bunch of applications and services. So please do come by and have a look at what we're running, including the Abby business card reader. Qualcomm are enabling and powering lots and lots of handsets for lots and lots of handset manufacturers. And we are inviting the application developer community to tell us the sorts of applications and services that can take advantage of those features and functions. And finally, if anybody has come up with an idea as to how I can take a snowball home for my 5-year-old son, please do let me know.
Thank you.
Thanks. I don't know, we have 5 minutes left, or I've just scored 5, which wasn't as high as Konstantin got. So if anybody has any questions at all, please feel free to go ahead and ask.
Yeah, please. My name is Julian Harris, and I'm from
Hi.
Hamburg.
I think there's a microphone coming your way as well.
Yeah, would be great. Thank you. So my question is mostly about the challenges that already ahead of Qualcomm and what kind of ideas for further development Qualcomm has.
It's a very good question. So Qualcomm's initiative is to drive the sales of as many mobile and wireless devices as we possibly can. We want to support our licensees with differentiated services that increase the sales of their devices, that show off the full functional capability of those devices. So in the value add that we provide as part of the ecosystem to the industry, it's in enabling developers to produce innovative applications and services that consumers may never have seen before, may never have even thought of, to drive the adoption of those devices. And we see tremendous growth opportunity in Eastern Europe in particular. And that's very much our reason for being here today, very much the reason for establishing the close working relationships with the developer community. So it really is an open door invitation for specific focus on Russia, Poland and Turkey. Of course, we are a global organization, but we have a very strong emphasis on Russia, Poland and Turkey right now. And the invitation is, please tell us the sorts of applications and services that you will think, that you believe have regional appeal. And we can work with you guys to show how you can take advantage of the features. Any other questions at all? Great, in that case, chaps, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the exhibition stand. Thanks.